ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ आत्मा कः स्थूलसूक्ष्मकारणशरीरात् व्यतिरिक्तः पञ्चकोशातीतः सन् अवस्थात्रयसाक्षी सच्चिदानन्दस्वरूपः सन् यस्तिष्ठति स आत्मा So we are seeing the definition of Atma. Very precise definition has been given here, in which the one part of it is just negation, and because negation is required in as much as there is an occasion of negation. If occasion is not there, Shastra cannot negate, and therefore if there is no horn on my head, then you cannot negate that, Swamiji, you don't have a horn. It's there. So occasion is essential. And therefore when Shastra negates, we should understand that there must be confusion. We must have taken the body, etc., as a self, and therefore it says, Sthula Sukshma Karana Sharirat Vyatirikta. We take ourselves as a body, we take ourselves as a senses. All the time, I is equated with all these things, definitely, and therefore we are seeing all these things. Anyway, so Sthula Sukshma Karana Sharirat Vyatiriktaha Panchakosha Atitaha. Same. These three bodies only put in the form of experiences, 5 kinds of experiences, 5 layers of experiences, and every layer of experience is considered as a self. Like the physical experiences I have, I am tall, I am short, all this kind of experience. So either you say I am a tall, so the tall body which is actually known to you, then you take it as a self. Or the tallness is an experience, well, it's a physical experience. Or human being, I am a human being, well, so that also is an experience that you consider yourself as a human being. So physical experiences are there, emotional experiences are there, other experiences are there, and therefore those 3 bodies only are put into 5 layers of experience. Each layer of experience is called koshaha, because it has been taken as a self. Therefore it is called koshaha. It is as though cover. Kosha means a cover. Atma cannot be covered. Which is all pervading, cannot be covered by anything. That's how they beautiful in, I think in Vedansara that example is there. You know that cloud covers the sun. They say like that. Cloud covers the sun. Now, how can a cloud can cover a sun? The sun which is even 13,000 times bigger than the earth. So such a sun cannot be covered with a small cloud. So we should say the cloud doesn't cover the sun, cloud covers my vision of the sun. So that is how it should be understood. So same way, here also Atma cannot be covered by a physical body or anything, which is all pervading. In fact, all the bodies are within the consciousness. Well, we will see that. So ultimately we will have to say that it covers my vision. I have ignorance, and so I equate the physical body with as the self. So there's 5 layers of experience also, which each layer of experience called kosha. Atma is distinct from that. And then it has been told these three states of human experience, that is called waking state and dream state, etc. also. So I am not a waker, I am not a dreamer, I am not a deep sleeper, etc. also is there. But then Satchidananda Swarupa San, that's a Swarupa Lakshanam, that's called Lakshanam. This is the real definition. This Satchidananda cannot be applied to any other thing in the world. Nothing is called Sat, nothing is called Chit, nothing is conscious in the world other than the consciousness. And nothing is all pervading. Even Akasha is not all pervading. I mean, the Atma alone is fullness. Atma alone is consciousness. Atma alone is existence. I mean, that immediately proves nothing has a independent existence in the world. Nothing is conscious of itself. Nothing is self-revealing. And nothing is, at the same time, nothing in the creation is all pervading also. Atma alone pervades everything. Atma alone is existence by which all the objects in the creation borrows the existence. All the objects are not self-revealing, they are revealed by the self, which is self-consciousness. This definition should go only to a particular thing and not to any other thing, which I have talked to you when I talked about the definition of definition. Lakshanasya Lakshanam. It has been very beautifully described in a primary text of Nyaya Shastra called Tarka Sangraha. And very beautifully described how you should define a thing. When you define a particular thing, it should point out that particular object only. It should not go to any other thing. And therefore, Satchidananda, etc. should point only to the self, only to the Atma. And it should not be available to any other thing. Existence cannot be available to. But Swamiji, everything is existence. Yeah, that's correct. Everything looks conscious. That's correct. But still, they all have a borrowed existence. All are revealed, of course, but not self-revealing. Only Atma is something which is self-revealing. And therefore, and so if something is self-revealing, you need not reveal it. So, suppose something is self-revealing, it doesn't require to be revealed by something. Means it doesn't require to be objectified by something. It need not become an object of knowledge. When anything is revealed, we say it has become an object of knowledge. Well, therefore, it doesn't require. Atma is something which doesn't require to be objectified, because in all the experiences, it is present. In fact, all the objects are revealed because since it is present in all the experiences also. And therefore, Atma is not required to be experienced also. In fact, if you can't experience Atma, you cannot experience every other thing in the world. When you say you are seeing Swami, you are experiencing the consciousness first. You yourself are self-revealing. And you are consciousness, and that's how I become an object of consciousness for you. I become an object of consciousness, that is you. Please understand this. People have this orientation of experiencing Atma all the time, even after listening for 15-20 years. And that is how they are not able to appreciate Vedanta. Even though in their intellect they have understanding of what is, but still some kind of a special experience they want to have. And therefore they are missing, in fact, the core of the Vedanta. And that's how they are missing even the fruit of this knowledge too. And so every experience is, when you say something is, well, that's over. That's Atma is there, very much there. Without consciousness, please try to prove. Take my statement right now. Please try to prove anything in the world, even an imagination, please try to prove without consciousness. Please try to prove. Everything, what is and what is not, everything is proved by consciousness. Absence, presence, senses are present, consciousness is. You are there. Senses are absent, you are there. Time is, consciousness is, you are there. Space is, consciousness is. Time is not, consciousness is. How will you say time is not without consciousness? Please tell me. And therefore consciousness need not be proved. Therefore we have three experiences, thank God, in which one of the experience in which the entire world, including time, space, everything is absent and still you are there. Otherwise it's very difficult for me to tell you this thing. Because you say something is and consciousness is, well, that's how will you say, Swamiji, object is, like you are there, I am seeing you right now, and Swamiji, I am seeing you right now, and you say consciousness is, means I am there. Well, it may be so that since you are there, I am there. How will you deny it? Well, even if I am not, if you are there, that's enough. Even if I am not, you are there, I am not required to be, I am not required to prove your existence. You are self-existent. In fact, that's called Sat. It is going to come. So you are independent. What is self-revealing is self-existent. What is self-revealing is self-existent. What is revealed by me, of course, his existence also is revealed by me. That's how it is mithya. Anything which requires anything which requires to be proved, anything which requires something else to be revealed, well, its existence also is revealed by that thing only. And therefore, if Atma is self-revealing, it doesn't require to be objectified, doesn't require to be any other, it doesn't require to get revealed by any other thing. Well, therefore, it is self-existent. And when you say, Swamiji, you are, because I am seeing you, so I become evident to you, then you also say, you are. If both the things go together, Swami's existence and Swami's revelation to you, both goes together. You are revealed by yourself. I is revealed by myself. I doesn't require to be revealed by something else. And therefore, that's how my simple question also, well, I will come to that anyway. Before that, I will have to give you some kind of an example. Well, it is given in two Upanishads. And we will take that example first. It's an imagery, by the way. So, this imagery is for what? That consciousness alone is self-revealing, referred to by the word I, and everything else needs consciousness to get revealed. To help us understand this thing, Upanishad gives imagery. And this imagery is with respect to eyesight only. It's vision of, the eyesight only. So to see an object definitely through your eyes, you need a light. That's the first thing we should know. To see an object with your eyes, the essential requirement is a light. If the object is luminous, like the sun, etc., well, then it doesn't require light. You can understand. There are two types of objects in the world. One is a luminous, self-luminous. Other is opaque. And therefore, one which is self-luminous doesn't require light to be revealed. If it is an opaque object, then definitely it requires a light. Light falls on the opaque substance and it gets reflected. And the other person sees that reflection. Other person sees a reflected light. Please understand this. When you are seeing me, you are seeing the light reflected by this particular thing, this. So, my body is opaque and this lamp which is here right now is a self-illuminating. Now for that, Upanishad uses two words, which is self-luminous. Then when I say that like sun, so sun shines. So they say bhati. Sun shines means suryaha bhati. They use the word bhati, which shines on its own, like a sun, luminous, self-luminous. And the other substance, which are opaque, for that they use a word anubhati, shines after, reflects, etc. gets reflected, etc., or reflects. So basically anubhati means, anu means paschat, so shines after, paschat means after. So I don't shine on my own. Well, this shines on its own, or the sun shines on its own, and then sunlight falls on me and then I shine. So that's how bhati anubhati. And that particular verse which we use also even in the temple during puja while showing a karpura arti also, and that is na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhanti kutoyam agnihi tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. We are telling the Lord, and showing the karpura arti as if we are revealing the Ishvara through karpura arti, and we are telling, in fact, we are begging pardon to Ishvara that you are self-revealing, and you still I am showing with this karpura, I am as though revealing you. Well, na tatra suryo bhati. Na tatra means atma vishaya, atmani. In this atma, in Paramatma, the sun doesn't shine. Or sun is self-luminous, you told Swamiji. No. Sun doesn't shine. Because sun shines on account of Paramatma alone, etc., etc. Now I don't want to go into, but let's go with the eyesight thing. Only, and this is the mantra, it is in Kathopanishad also, it is in Mundaka also, and it is very beautiful mantra which shows a imagery with respect to eyesight. So anyway, so self-luminous things do not require light to light it up, and other things which shines after or reflects, definitely, which are opaque, requires a light, which we call anubhati, and sun, etc., is bhati. Now, when the sun shines, I tell you, you use a verb either from bhati or anubhati. What will you use? Bhati. Sun shines. You won't say sun shines after something. Sun shines because it's self-luminous, and so therefore I need not have to write sun shines after. No, sun shines. And therefore bhati. Suryaha bhati. That's how it is. But if you really, if you really think a little, you will find that the sun also reveals its existence, its luminosity, if my eyes are open. If my eyes are closed, well, sun is hot for me, but sun doesn't shine for me. Please understand this. Sun shines, or sun's luminosity is because eyes shine. If eyes do not shine, then sun do not shine. Right? And therefore, eyes shine. I should say, chakshuhu bhati, suryaha anubhati. Chakshuhu bhati. Eyes shine, and therefore sun shines. For a blind person, there is no bright sun. There is no luminous sun. Even though there is a hot sun for him, but there is no luminous sun. And therefore, so-called luminous substances in the creation which shines on their own, an entire world shines after, such a luminous substance called sun also anubhati with respect to my eyes. So I can say suryaha bhati jagat anubhati, shines after. Now suryaha anubhati chakshuhu bhati. This is how the imagery has been given. And therefore, sun shines, it's luminous, etc. also is depending upon my eyes. And therefore, all objects, now I am including the world also, because suryaha bhati jagat anubhati. Surya itself anubhati, chakshuhu bhati. Therefore, chakshu covers entire world plus luminous substances in the creation. Self-luminous substances called fire, called lightning, called glowworm, called sun, which are self-luminous. So, therefore, entire world of form and colors and smell and form, especially form and colors, I should not be too enthusiastic. And plus all the self-luminous substances, all they shine after, and chakshuhu bhati. Eyes shine, so they shine. I can say that. Chakshuhu bhati, suryaha jagata saha anubhati. I can say that way. Okay, can the eyes shine on its own? Really, chakshuhu bhati vanava? That question can come. No. Chakshu also shines. Chakshu can objectify a substance. Chakshu can illuminate a substance. Chakshu can reveal a substance when mind is behind that. And therefore, sometimes eyes are open and falling on the Swami, but Swami is not seen because the mind goes somewhere else. And therefore, chakshuhu bhati only when I can say manaha bhati. When mind shines, chakshu eyes shine. Therefore, chakshu now has turned from bhati to anubhati. So, manaha bhati, and mind shines after whom? Mind shines after I shine. Right? When I shine, mind shines. Don't say otherwise. I am going to prove. Swamiji, when mind shines, I shine. Therefore, aham anubhati, manaha bhati. No. I am saying manaha anubhati, aham bhati. How can you say? Swamiji, see, I tell you, Swami, what? When mind is not there, aham is not there. And therefore, manaha is bhati, aham anubhati. Sir, your experience of deep sleep proves that manaha anubhati, aham bhati. Because whether the mind shines or not, you shine. That is called deep sleep. When mind shines or not, in other two states, mind shines and you also shine. Therefore, there is a problem. Right? As a dreamer, you are shining. As a waker, you are shining. And in both the states, mind also shines, definitely. And therefore, mind shines and I also shine. So I can't understand what depends on what. Well, but then the deep sleep is there when mind doesn't shine and you shine. If the mind still is shining, I'm telling you, will not have a deep sleep. That is how people take sleeping pills to put the mind to sleep. When the mind, therefore, manaha, when mind doesn't shine, that's how you say. Swamiji, in the morning when you get up, you say, I slept well. There were no thoughts. There were no thoughts. You say, I slept well. So I was shining there. And the mind was not there. The absence of mind was shining by me. So I don't require mind to get shine. I am independently shining. Manaha anubhati, aham bhati. And therefore, when the mind dreams, I shine, lighting up the dream world. When I am awake, and my eyes are open and things are seen, then I light up all the forms. So in every perception, whether it's a form perception, sound perception, smell perception, taste perception, touch perception, or a cognition of an inferred object, that inferred object shines in your mind. It's not perception, please understand, inference is one other means of knowledge available to me. That's how the scientists are very, they use this, perception is with everybody. Senses are there, but their means of knowledge called inference is very powerful. The difference between me and a scientist is they employ this inference very well. They utilize this particular means of knowledge called inference very well. Perception is with everybody. Everybody has seen an apple falling from the tree, but Newton thought over something else. Every perception is there. If the apple falls, I will just take it and eat it. I don't want to think further. Well, that is all right. But he, instead of eating the apple, he started thinking, and he derived a principle. So he has utilized the means of knowledge called inference. Very powerful. Human beings inference. Also, of course, arthapatti, presumption also is there. You see, the presumption and inference has a big difference. There are 6 means of knowledge is given to a human being. The first is a perception, that's a Moola Pramanam. Pratyaksha Pramanam is a Moola Pramanam. Without perception, nothing works. Even in court also, a witness is considered a big proof. Witness means who has perceived any incident, whatever it may be, good, bad, whatever. So, perception is the main means of knowledge. Moola Praman. Based on perception, there is inference. Well, you infer that there is a fire here in the forest. There is no fire, but I'm saying you, there is fire in the forest. How will you know? You have not gone to the forest, it's quite far. Still in your mind, you know that fire is shining right now. Fire has become an object of knowledge, not by perception. You have revealed the fire. How? Through inference. Where you see the smoke. So you see the smoke and you infer the fire. You see fire, that's a perception. You infer the fire through perception. Perception of smoke. That's how perception is a basis of Pramana. Anyway, when cognition through of an inferred object called fire, right, that also becomes an object of knowledge. So that is how I can say fire consciousness, right? Fire consciousness. Not directly perception, but inferred. So anyway, whatever, either you do inference, either do presumption. But Swamiji, you were telling the difference between inference and presumption. Yeah. See, what happens is, presumption is called arthapatti in Sanskritam, and inference is called anuman. Now, between anumanam and arthapatti, the difference is, in anumanam, in one step you come to know an inferred object. In just one step. In arthapatti, several steps are involved. Several steps. And scientists are, of course, they are using inference, but more than inference, they are using presumption. Doctors are using presumption as a means of knowledge to arrive at the infection of corona. Please understand this. What happens is, like a doctor, I will tell you, you go to a doctor and you say, they will say, what's your complaint? You say, I have a fever, I have coughing, etc., etc. Then say you take a deep breath, and you take a deep breath, and then the coughing starts more. Then there are several possibilities. They cannot tell directly that you are infected with this particular virus. They can't tell. They will have to eliminate various possibilities from the perception called your words. They hear your words, it's a perception. Based on that, they will have to eliminate various possibilities and ultimately arrive at that this particular infection is born of this particular virus, etc. And that's how the doctors also use many steps of inference, not single step. Many steps are involved. They just can't, you go and you say, I have a fever. They just can't, immediately put you into the ward of that infected people. He can't do that. You just tell that I have a fever. Okay, just get admitted and tell also these people who are, who are having statistics. Add one more case of coronavirus infected. No, they can't do. They will have to arrive at this thing through various steps. Particular disease is, just because you have a fever, I tell you, they can go up to the cancer. Really. You have a fever and they can go up to cancer. But various steps are involved. Various steps. So just because there is a cancer means, that this is particular disease is there, they cannot tell. Anyway, so scientists are also using various steps to arrive at a particular object, inferred object. That's how they have observation, and then they used to derive it later. So, and that's how doctor takes a lot of time. They ask you several questions, when the fever comes and what happens, and do you have this migraine, and that is there or not, and this is there or not. As you say something, they eliminate one thing. You say something, they eliminate one thing. You say something, eliminate one thing. It is not in the case of smoke, fire. Just one step. Single step. Smoke, fire. One step. inference is one-step process. To know the particular object through inference, you need just one step. You see my shoes outside. Well, you are not seeing me because I am in the room, but you see my shoes outside and you infer me that Swami is there inside. You see a particular car in the ashram and you infer. You have not met the person, you have not seen the person, but particular car is there with a particular number. You infer immediately that particular person is there. This is just one step. One step. But, well, scientists and doctors and all, they will have to not like the fire. Fever. Chalo, okay, this is no. Several steps. This is called presumption. Arthapatti. Arthat apattihi arthapattihi. Well, this is how it is. And therefore, this is also available. So, through the inference, through presumption, objects shine. Certain objects do not shine through senses right now, through perception. Well, they shine through other means of knowledge. Certain objects shine through your words. You tell me about, World Trade Center, right? An object shine in my mind. So your words have revealed. So Shabda also becomes a means of knowledge. But well, ultimately, everything becomes an object of knowledge for I, the consciousness, either by perception, either by any other thing. That's a cognition, but a cognition, cognition through inference, cognition through perception, cognition through presumption, cognition through words, cognition through absence. You see a pocket, and there is a pocket in your in your this one in your pants, and then you don't find. I will give you a better example. Like every day there is a class in. Suppose we have a class, and particular person is not there in a particular chair, so you get a knowledge on absence of that person at that particular day. That also object is shining in your mind, or absence of object shining in your mind through anupalabdhi pramanam. So there are various things are there, and therefore various objects through various means of knowledge become object of knowledge, object of consciousness. But well, consciousness is invariably present in everything. If consciousness I is not there, well, where is the object of inference and where is object of presumption, etc. So I is a self-evident bhati, and everything else, the entire world, anubhati, shines after, which is evident to me, the I. So the world of forms becomes evident because my eyes, the world of sound becomes evident because of my ears, the world that is inferred by me, or like a black hole and what I said about, or even simple fire, etc. It's also a part of the world, definitely, but becomes evident through reasoning, through inference, through presumption. Well, therefore, anything inferred also or presumed also, everything becomes evident to I, that is consciousness. So consciousness is present in all types of cognition, all types of experiences. Consciousness is present in all experiences. Okay, when everything is evident to you, shining after the consciousness, anubhati, then what is not evident to you? What is not evident to me? Well, there is nothing that is non-evident to me. The only thing in this world that does not require an evidence is, for its existence, is I. I once again repeat, the only thing in this world that does not require any evidence for its existence, that is I. Everything requires an evidence. Then only I can say it is. Like, without I being the self-evident, then nothing else in the world become evident to me. So look at this process. Swami is, suppose right now, a Swami is because you see. So I become an object of, knowledge for you. I become evident to you. And that's how you can say Swami is. So existence and evidence goes together, right? For me, like I can tell right now, since you all are evident to me right now, you all are. I can tell. So everything, ultimately the existence also of the world gets proved by their evidences, but the one to whom everything becomes evident, that is I, is self-evident. And that self-evident does not require any proof for its existence. What is self-evident is self-existent. What is evident to the self, definitely existence also is revealed by that evidence only. So, and therefore, if I do you exist or not, if I ask that question, you don't go to anybody to consult. You immediately say I am, right? Even without using your senses, even without using your mind, immediately, very immediately you say I am. So I am, the consciousness is one which is definite, which doesn't require a proof for existence. Why? Because I am evident. All the time I am self-revealing. And therefore, if it is self-revealing, then it is self-existent too. And therefore, what is self-existent is alone called Sat, but we will come to that later. So, you do not need to prove that you are there. You need not prove, because you are self-revealing. And so in this world, there is only one thing that is self-revealing without requiring to be revealed through any means of knowledge called mind, senses or inference or any other thing, and that is consciousness. So in every revelation of objects, through perception, through inference, through presumption, through absence, through words, in every revelation, consciousness I is invariably present. In all the different objects of revelation, definitely they are replaced one after the other. They are replaced. But this is something, it is all the time present. So just as in every visual perception, light has to be there, same way, that's how the imagery is given. Same way, in all the objects which are revealed, in the all objects of knowledge, whatever be the means of knowledge you use, well, that's available to you, whatever means of knowledge you use, but I is there invariably in all. Some certain objects of a perception, well, that's they need not be there when you infer something. That object of inference may not be there when some object is revealed through the words. Well, so objects keep changing. Object displaces each other depending upon the means of knowledge you utilize. But I am the one who is not displaced by any object. And there is a big reason for that I cannot be displaced. Let the object get displaced, with which I talked yesterday, of course. Anyway, so and in every visual perception, as light is invariably present, without light you cannot see itself, you cannot visualize. So we don't count at all light. We only count the object. But you know what is invariably present in all the objects of visualization is light. Without light, nothing can be seen. Same way, here in all different objects of knowledge, that is, all object consciousness is invariably present. That's how this consciousness is also called Jyotihi. Just as light is called Jyotihi, which is invariably present in all the perceptions and of objects, same way here also Atma is a Jyotihi, which is invariably present in all objects of cognition, different objects of cognition. And therefore we have seen already, when you say any object, when you see any form, you say that we can say there is a form consciousness. So form is there, consciousness is. That form goes and another form came. Flower has gone and pen has come. Well, pen consciousness. And that has gone, something else has come. And whole form has gone and now smell has come. Well, still, if form is not there and smell has come, well, smell consciousness. Smell has gone, something else. Sound comes. Anyway, and other inference. All you cannot replace consciousness. That is you. That is you. You are irreplaceable in this creation. And without you, nothing can be revealed. And you need not be revealed by any other thing. That's called self-revealing. You are revealing yourself. And that is the one which is self-revealing is self-existence also. Whenever anything is revealed, you say it is. If it is not revealed, you will not say it is. Same way, here also, what is self-revealing is self-existent. Self-revealing is called Chit. Self-existent is called Sat. And that is present in all the experiences. All the experiences. And even if they are not there, experiences are not there because objects of experiences are not there, or means of knowledge are resolved, well, I am there to shine the absence of everything. Absence of means of knowledge, absence of objects of knowledge, all this shine in my presence. If they are there, fine. If sound is there, well, consciousness is there. Sound is not, consciousness is. Form is there, form shines, consciousness is. Form is not, consciousness is. That's how. When word is heard, consciousness is. Word is not heard, consciousness is. That's how you go to a doctor. How will you go to a doctor? You know that now you are not able to hear anymore. You go to a doctor. So that is how it is. Where so consciousness is when words are heard. Consciousness is when words are not heard. Consciousness is when forms are seen. Consciousness is when forms are not seen. Eyes are closed, consciousness is. Eyes are closed, you are not able to see the forms, but consciousness is. And therefore, when a thought is, consciousness is. Thought is not deep sleep state, consciousness is. Otherwise, if you don't have an experience of thoughtless state called deep sleep state, any human being cannot call it. I am able to call that there is no thought in a deep sleep state, means I have experienced it. And when I have experienced, definitely consciousness is invariably present in that. And therefore, thought is, consciousness is. Thought is not, consciousness is. And that consciousness means don't think it is some substance. Thought is, you are. Thought is not, you are. Forms are seen, you are. Forms are not seen, you are. You are something which is very independent, independently existing. Others are not independently existing. Words are there, well, consciousness is. If consciousness is not, words are there. Don't say that. Don't say that. Consciousness is word because words are there. Consciousness is not, still words are there. Well, that kind of experience is not there. Words are there, consciousness is. Words are not there, consciousness is. That proves a very, very big thing. Very big thing it proves. Anyway, so space is, consciousness is. Space is not conscious. Now I am giving up the objects. It's enough with the objects now. Then the only two factors, then time and space. So space is, consciousness is. Space is not, consciousness is. You are not aware of the space even in the deep sleep state. The space has gone. Space means the place, etc. There is no consciousness of a place. Therefore, still, place is not, but still consciousness is. Time is, consciousness is. Time is not, consciousness is. You are aware of the time. Time is not aware of you. You are aware of the space. Space is not aware of you. You are aware of the form. Forms are not aware of you. You are aware of the smell. Smell is not aware of you. You are aware of the sound. Sound is not aware of you. That proves something different. One way you can go, other way you can't. If you remember these my words, with the example of actor, etc., I have proved that. Both shows, it shows a reality difference. If I can go both the way, both are real. If sound is, consciousness is, well, fine. Consciousness is because sound is, well, then both have similar reality. But sound is, consciousness is. Sound is not, consciousness is. Consciousness doesn't need sound for its existence. Sound needs consciousness for its existence. Consciousness doesn't need sound for its existence. Now, can you follow what I am saying? In terms of existence, this consciousness seems to be self-existent. Atma Satyah Tad Anyat Sarvam Mithya. That has been told. Could you remember this definition of Mithya? Mithya means which is dependent for its existence. You cannot prove sound without consciousness. Sound is, consciousness is not, never possible. But consciousness is, even there is no sound, like deep sleep state, no sound, consciousness is. And therefore, consciousness is self-revealing. Sound is revealed through consciousness. Consciousness is revealed through consciousness. That's all. Consciousness is self-revealing. Self-revealing, self-shining, called Chit. And self-existent. Doesn't depend upon objects, doesn't depend upon time, doesn't depend upon space for its existence. So self-existent too, called Sat. I, the knower, is Sat. Sadeva Satyam, Sa-Atma. In Chandogya it is very beautifully told, Sadeva Satyam. That alone is truth, ontologically. I mean, in terms of my understanding of a reality called of Atma, this is, I am the Satyam. And therefore, I am independent of time, space and all objects. Independent of. And time, space and objects have a dependence for their existence, for their revelation on me. Clear now? This is, and therefore, this is how what is dependent for existence, dependent for revealing on something else is Mithya. What is independent in terms of revelation, what is independent in terms of existence is called Satyam. Therefore, Atma Satyam Tad Anyat Sarvam Mithya. Everything has a dependent existence. Everything needs the consciousness to be revealed. Everything needs consciousness to be for their existence, for the proof of existence. And therefore, entire world is of one category and I, Atma, the consciousness, is of a different category. Of course, we have started with the division of knower known. So I don't want to resolve that. We have to resolve. But when you say Satya Mithya, already it is resolved. When two things are independent, when two things are true, then there is a duality. But when one thing is proved Mithya and other thing is proved Satyam, then there are no two things, only one thing. There is only one thing. When you say you start with two things called pot and clay, and then once you know that pot is dependent for its revelation, pot is dependent for its existence on clay, then definitely there is only one thing. Because what is Mithya is non-separate from Satyam. Mithya is always non-separate from Satyam because Mithya derives the existence from the Satyam, therefore it cannot be independent. It cannot be independent. If it is not independent, definitely it cannot be counted as independent too. And therefore there are no two things called knower and known. What is known? Time is known, space is known, objects are known, objects of perception, objects of inference, objects of presumption, objects of even absence, anything, any means of knowledge which reveal any object in the world. Well, some certain things are you revealed through perception, certain things are revealed through inference. Well, that's fine. Entire world and time and space, everything is Mithya. They need consciousness to be revealed and they need consciousness or the existence called Atma to be proved for its existence, and therefore Atma is Satchit. Okay, now we have to go a little further. We have three words, and I told you this is a self-confusion because the body you take is, which is Mithya, of course, you take it as a Satyam, and etc. And therefore there is self-confusion, I have told you. So we have three words to correct the three confusions regarding the self. And these three confusions or mistakes have occurred because I, the self, is self-conscious. Is self-conscious, and therefore, and also there is a self-ignorance, and therefore, when there is a self-ignorance and self-consciousness together, completely self-consciousness together, when they are together, self-ignorance and 100% self-consciousness, there is going to be the mistake. Something else you are going to take it as a self. Since you are self-conscious, you will have to decide, you will have to judge what is self. But you don't judge properly because there is self-ignorance also. And therefore, what is really the self you don't take, and something else you take it as a self. What is near, whatever, which is very proximate, is you take it as a self. Body is very proximate. Definitely, it should be proximate because it is mithya thing, and therefore being non-separate from the satyam. You take the body as a self. You should take just consciousness as yourself, existence as yourself. Instead, you take body, etc. as a self. That's a big mistake. And this self-confusion we express in three types of conclusions. And the first conclusion about myself is, I am a mortal person. I am a mortal person. And mortal person is I am bound by time. I have a limit of time. So, centered on oneself, centered on the self, definitely I feel limitation in terms of time. And so there is a self-judgment, I am time bound, I am mortal. And therefore, and that's not my real nature, because I am basically existence, and therefore I am timeless. In fact, time depends upon me, etc. And therefore I can't see total decimation of myself. So now people definitely, they know they are not going to survive long. They are mortal beings, they are time bound. What they do? So at least in this form I will not remain for a long. This form is mortal. Let me make my name immortal. That's how you people want progeny. And through progeny they want to survive, because every child, etc. carries your name. Form will not remain, but that name will remain. That's how it is. And therefore, out of name and form, I know the form is little longer, form has a little longer shelf life. And the name has a little longer shelf life. Form is going to be there. Going to decimate. And therefore, definitely I want progeny so that my name at least gets carried forward. And basically that since I am a mortal being, and which is not the truth, I want to live a day more. Always. And I know very well that's a credit. Tomorrow is a credit. Today is a cash. I know very well. This thing I am clear. But I want credit. I definitely want a credit. And that's how, like a shopkeeper, I am like a shopkeeper. I am like a person who wants to buy on credit. Person who wants to buy on credit goes to a shop. And when he just enters in the shop, he finds a board there. What? Today cash, tomorrow credit. And therefore, he comes down because he wants on credit. So he comes down thinking that tomorrow he is going to get the credit. So tomorrow he will come, not today. And then he goes next day, again he finds the same board which this shopkeeper has put. Today cash, tomorrow credit. This is how it is. This is how, same way I know very well that tomorrow is a credit for me and I want credit. I really want a credit. Cash, of course, today is a cash. And I know at least there will not be a problem. Today is with me. But whether tomorrow is there or not with me, I don't know. But I want. So I want a credit, basically. So that's how people want to live. Live a day more, a day more, a day more. a day more. Even Bhagavan comes and tells that, okay, you will get a asanam just besides me, come to heaven. He said, I will come. You go, I will come tomorrow. That day, tomorrow won't come. And that is because I want to extend in time as much as I can. I want to extend myself. And because time bound is not my nature. How can I accept that? That bondage or limitation in terms of time I am not going to accept. Well, and the I am time bound is just a self-confusion arising the physical body taking as a self. And therefore, well, so, and that's how even when I go to, somebody dies and I go to cremation ground, I definitely feel, especially in a burial ground, they put on the tomb, near that they put a stone, and they used to write also that the person, like John or something, and lived 1979-2019, suppose. And you see, you think by sitting there that this person, the whole life I know very well because he was my good friend and I know him. He has so many ups and downs in his life. He has achieved so much in his life, and whole his existence of so many years has been indicated just by a small dash. By seeing that small dash, I feel something. A limited existence, definitely I am not able to accept. Even though a whole of life I am a witness in which he has contributed a lot in the world, still, if they put a dash, small dash in between, 1979-2019, a small dash, I am not able to accept. A dash indicates time boundness. I'm limitation in time. I'm not able to accept. That brings a sorrow in my heart because I feel I'm mortal, etc. Anyway, so I love existence, I love survival because that's my nature. Anyway, so I want to live a day more. Then the question comes, Swami, that's not correct. Some people, I know my one friend, he wants to, cut his life. He wants to commit a suicide. So I am adding another confusion, mistake regarding the self is, I want to live happily. Means I am sorrowful. I want to live happily. I am mortal is one conclusion. I am sorrowful, unhappy. Let's say I am unhappy is second conclusion. Therefore, my struggle will be always in terms of I want to live and live happily. It's the second thing. And also the third confusion or self-judgment, which is definitely self-confusion, and that is I am ignorant. And for that also I struggle to gain knowledge in order to get rid of the ignorance. So these three things are there. I want to live happily without being ignorant. And that's this conclusion. This is a struggle. The struggle is in terms of this. Human struggle, we can put in this sentence, is this. I want to live happily and without being ignorant. So I struggle for removing ignorance, I struggle for removing unhappiness, and I struggle to make my life little longer. And this also you can see the struggle in terms of removing the ignorance is also there all the time. And that is why no one wants to be ignorant. No one wants to be full. Always in a group also you will try to prove your smartness in terms of very much. That's how people keep update. Even Swami tries, every half an hour I keep aside everything and take this instrument in my hand and in the social media, YouTube and other things. I want to know about coronavirus because afterwards somewhere the discussion occurs and then I should not feel that I don't know anything about it. Therefore people always The lot of usage of this media, social media, is for this purpose. I want to know. Newspaper I will not say, because in India it is newspaper also. In the morning itself, people do the pradakshina, not of Lord pradakshina. They will do the pradakshina of their house, whether the newspaper has come or not. And they will sit with the newspaper and one cup of tea. 2 hours. From page 1, first line, to the last page, last line. Including all death notes and everything he will read. There is no purpose of reading all the death notes, but he used to read all the death notes. Who has died and who has not died. And right now, if you want to say how many people died after coronavirus in America and how many died in Croatia, there are countries I have never seen. I have never heard of. But corona has reached there. Croatia and thousands of places it has just reached. Anyway, how many deaths occurred there and how many deaths occurred there and how many new cases in these? Why do you want to know? Why do you want to know? Why you worry about Swami? I want to know. Why? What is your problem? If you don't want to know, don't start this laptop or don't start your mobile. But I want to know. Well, Swami is also in your category only. Don't worry. It's a basic urge of a human being not to be ignorant, not to want a label, he doesn't want a label on his face. I am ignorant. I am fool. No way. No way. That's how even 2 people are talking in a corner very seriously. I will definitely try to put my ears and, if I get some words to hear. And if you tell me, Swami, after the class, suppose, not now, after the class you tell me, Swamiji, I want to tell you one thing. But right now a lot of people have joined, so I could not tell you, but I will call you, Swamiji. And there is something very secret I have to tell you, so I can't tell in open. And Swami remains restless. You may go to sleep. I remain restless. Till your phone comes. I will remain restless. Even I don't get a sleep also. Even afternoon nap I will not get. I tell you. Then I will call you. Please. No, but Swami, I will tell you tomorrow. Why do you worry? You are a Swami. You should not have such impatience in your life. You are teaching us to be a patient, having a patient and all this, and you yourself are like that. But tell me just one word. That secret is about what? But I will tell you tomorrow. Don't worry. This is what it is. A love for knowledge.